Hi there, Vibe Gardeners. Welcome to this episode of Vibe Gardening Inform Edition. We're going to have a different kind of hydroponics 101 episode here. We're going to be a kickstart. Where instead of watching 2 hours of my whole full course, you can get yourself started on hydroponic lettuce tote in just this one episode with a minimum requirement and minimum setup. With that said, let's go. All right, so let's go over some of the background of how this episode came about. So I was at work last week, and one of my friends at work had a conversation with me about my Hydroponics 101 2 hour series, 7 episodes. And she told me, look, I don't want to watch 2 hours of video just to be able to start my own hydroponic system. Please cut through all that stuff and just get me right to what I need to do to get my system started. I sat down and I thought about it. You know what? I think you're right. Let's make a Kickstarter version of it. So the image over there above shows what this system has become. This system right here, as you can see, there's got quite a bit of holes in here. This is what I use to grow that lettuce patch. And it's lettuce mesclun, I think is how you pronounce it. And it's extremely easy. And what happened with that one was it was so easy that frankly, you don't have to do a majority of the stuff I went over in the 101 series because the lettuce is extremely low requiring on nutrition and pretty much anything gonna throw at it. Even with my high pH water, it barely budged. As a matter of fact, the with this tote right here, the water went all the way down to here, which is about only a quarter of the way up. Majority of the roots got exposed, and yet it was still thriving, like that image I showed you. I mean, it is extremely forgiving, and you can get away with a lot. If you're a beginner and you want to get started with something easy, that is the way to go. And you can't go wrong, as you can see here. This is a botanical interest thank you seeds. Yes, I got these for free from buying from their online store just by shipping. I don't know if they still do it, but this is very cheap seeds. I don't even know how much it's cost. And there's, I don't know, probably hundreds, but they say like 500 milligrams here. It feels like there's a lot of seeds in here, probably like 100 in there, who knows. And this stuff is basically the easiest beginner crop that we can grow here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use another one of these $6 Toastacaf Malis, and we're going to build one right here. I'm going to show you how to do it. It's one episode and give you some parameters and boundaries of what to watch out for. And you can get your own lettuce tote growing. And why am I getting two of these going? Well, because I'm growing lettuce to give to the local food bank, food gatherers, from my previous episode on gardening for a cause. So yeah, so here we go. All right, so first thing we're going to talk about here, after I give you guys a background on it, is I'm going to talk about what you will need equipment. First, like I mentioned, you will need yourself a tote here, a storage container. This one is make sure it is black and not transparent to protect the roots from light. This one is a 3-gallon, 3.1 gallon, or 11.7 liter um, tote here. It's about perfect. It's for storage, you know. And we'll also need a hole cutter, which I don't have in this clip with me right now. So I'll show you in the cutting stage. Something to measure with, a drill to drill the hole cutter with. And we're going to use a grow sponge like this that I'll link below for putting the seeds into. We will be using a grow sponge basket like so, which I'll link below for you to be able to get online. And you need yourself lettuce seeds, which I will again link from the Botanical Interest website for you. And yeah, it's really that simple. And really, you need yourself an air pump that should come already with hose and air stone. And that should be giving you enough aeration. And once you get everything going, and once you start seeing things sprout up, you can use again, link below. I will have the two-part hydroponic nutrition, which is the cheapest thing you can get. For $10, you can get yourself like basically 3-4 years worth of supply. And yeah, so let's get building, guys. All right, guys, welcome to my workshop here. So we have all the tools we need here. So what I did was we have this hole saw kit, and what I did was I took this grow sponge basket and used this digital caliper, and I measured it. If you want to see exactly how I measure, and then I make sure the right saw is selected. If you want to see how this process works, you can go and refer to my Hydroponics 101 episode where I did the whole entire thing. And we picked the right hole saw here. And what we're basically going to do is we're going to take this template of what we have already here that I know works. Very close spacing because lettuce will need a lot of space here. And we're going to drill these holes into the top of this container lid right here. And yeah, so let's get started on that. All right, guys, now that I've prepared the drill here, always remember to wear your protective eyeglasses. And here we go, let's start drilling. All right, guys, as you can see, I cleaned up the rest of the holes after I cut it out with my carpentry knife here. We can do with a razor blade. And it is pretty much essentially a carbon copy of the previous one. And now with a little rinsing off, we're ready to fill this thing with reverse osmosis or filtered water. All right, so the next part we'll wait for the water to fill is to start putting the lettuce seed into the grow sponge. And this is actually, we're able to do this right now because lettuce is not very picky. And unlike the Hydroponics 101 7-episode series here, I'm not going to pre-soak this. And due to the non-picky nature of lettuce. So what we're going to do is we're going to dump a bunch of the seeds out to show you guys how tiny these seeds are. Because these things are some of the smallest seeds out there. I mean, maybe I'm wrong because I can think of already a few that's really small. So you see how small these things are? What we can do here is you can literally just, I generally would grab 3 of these and I will put it right in here. And it's putting the sponge basket like this and put it right into the system. That's literally that simple. And this is something that you generally cannot get away with other hydroponic vegetation, but lettuce, you can totally get away with it. All right, so the water level isn't exactly where I want it to be yet, but for the sake of time, I want to demonstrate how the airstone installation is because I totally forgot to mention this hole here I drilled. Basically what I did was I took this air hose here that the airstone connects to. I took this and then measured a drill bit to it. Took a slightly bigger one and I drilled a hole right through it. And before I start putting some water in there. So what I'm going to do is I can just basically thread the air hose in here and plug in the airstone. It's a tight fit, which is a good thing because you want this thing to not move while it's aerating the system. It's not all the way in here, but it's tight enough. What I'll do is I'll just put it in here and then I'll plug it into my air pump. As we can see, it is bubbling like you would expect airstone to, and this should give enough aeration for the whole entire system. You don't need a water pump for something that's only about 3 gallons or so. Probably won't get it filled to here, which should be approximately only about 2.5 to 2 2/3 of a gallon. Or for metric, it's going to be approximately, I'm guessing, about 10 liters, right about here, this mark. And that should be your whole situation here. And for lettuce, because it's so forgiving, you don't have to worry about the whole stabilization of the pH with the CalMag. As a matter of fact, you don't even have to adjust the pH. It's just going to work. As a matter of fact, that photo I showed you earlier of the system with lettuce in there, I literally forgot it for a whole month. I came back to a lush lettuce patch like I did. As we see here, we have all the holes filled with pods. And the reason for that is that it's going to be too crowded for you to be able to stick one of your instrumentation readers in here and read the water value here. And that's why I'm not going to leave a hole for that. So the only thing really left now is, as you can see, some of the sponges are soaking up water really fast already. What we're going to do is we're going to put humidity domes over them to keep the humidity high. We're not even going to put any of the grow sponge labels on there because light isn't as big of a deal. Like I said, everything about the setup is minimal. It's all synthetic, and the chances of bacteria and other biome growing in here is going to be very low. So we don't really have to worry that much about the light getting through. All right, so here we are. We have this lettuce bed in this 3-gallon tote here. So the next step that you're going to do is you're going to be looking at this image below. Here, this is going to be a linked product below with the 2-part hydroponic solution nutrition. This is actually designed to be synthetic, so you're not going to be worrying about having bacteria and other biome grow in the solution. And it is also extremely cost effective because you're only paying for dry weight, which are granular that you dissolve in water before you mix it in 2 parts. So you're not even paying for the weight of the water, and extremely effective in that I've had this work before with the image of the lettuce that you see here. And so what we want to do is that lettuce seeds naturally germinate to light. So you want to just have it sit here, and it's eventually going to start growing leaves. We start seeing baby leaves and the true leaf come out. What you want to do is you want to add about 40 ppm of nutrition here, and it's that equipment. I have an image right there. I'm going to link that product below. The ppm meter, and you want to see how that works. My 7th episode Hydroponics 101 is going to go through that. And really, it's kind of just tune it up. It's 40 ppm on the 500 scale, which if it didn't say anything, it's going to be 500 scale. And honestly, don't get past 250. Just kind of see how your plant is. Give it a good couple of days on each level of nutrition and see how it handles it. And if it's not handling it well, take some water out, add more new water in there to reduce the ppm. And honestly, with lettuce, you don't even have to worry about pH, which is one of the hardest things to manage within hydroponic system. So this is the easiest thing you can do, and just keep watching this thing, and it'll do just great. So just sums it up. This is significantly reduced down from the Hydroponics 101 7 episode course, in that we're not doing any calcium magnesium, which could stabilization of pH. We're not even touching pH at all, which is usually not something you do with hydroponics, and it's the hardest thing. And also nutrition, I'm just basically recommending to use the cheapest thing out there. And as a matter of fact, I'm not even telling you exactly how to use it. Just kind of keep it between 40 and 250 ppm, whatever your plant is going to vibe with. It's going to take about 3 weeks for this thing to get to maturity, I believe. And it's about, and then when you harvest it, just clip off the top, and you can do come and go, which means cut and go, which means you're only cutting off a few leaves and then keep harvesting. But honestly, these things grow so fast, it's not worth it. Just kind of cut it off all of it at once. Harvest it. You'll see more videos later as I harvest these things. And you get 3 harvests before it becomes really slow, and it's not worth it. You get 3 harvests per seed batch here. You just cut and go. And one of these totes can probably be salad for one family for, I don't know, maybe a week. I'm not 100% sure. But either way, it all depends on how the family does their vegetations, right? So hopefully I'll have 3 of these totes up eventually, and that's going to be able to help me to do a rotation. I'm going to succession grow these 1 a week. and therefore I can hopefully get a non-stop flow of lettuce for food gatherers. So that's what I plan to do here. To summarize, this is actually what we've done here. We basically built a very dense, compact um, hydroponic deep water culture system here. And we basically made a super minimum. We're not touching the pH at all, dropping water, dropping nutrition when we need to, and we're not even pre-soaking the grow sponge here, just putting the seeds right in there and put it right in there because lettuce is just that easy, guys. I hope that's going to get started on your hydroponic journey. And if anything goes wrong, we have no idea what's going on, or if you're just curious, go and check out all those 7 episodes in the Hydroponics 101 series, which is a full course for you guys. So, yeah, let's keep gardening and keep vibing. Let's go.